We're booking hundreds of sales calls every single month utilizing AI, and it's so simple that I'm surprised nobody else is talking about it right now. Have you ever wondered what makes your prospect respond to your cold email as opposed to the other ones that they're receiving every single day with other offers? Well, I had the chance to sit back and reflect on that exact same question and kind of came to a crazy realization. That realization led me to rework our entire process and our offer creation framework and our copywriting process that's ultimately helped to go on generate 1,200 new opportunities for our clients and source over $8 million in new revenue for those organizations. And all of this is just done with ChatGPT and other AI models, which we'll discuss today, that just nobody is talking about right now. So I created a document going over these exact systems and processes so you can copy and paste this and utilize it in your cold email outreach strategies here. So let's get into it.
I'm sharing this documentation here. I'll also just go ahead and link that to description down here below, but it's really just going to rank on just 3 different difficulty levels: easy, medium, and hard. There's only one hard script and it's really not that challenging. I'll try to take you guys there pretty easily. But the first one is just like personalization details. This is just kind of like the details of the minutia of your outreach process, right? You want to make sure that you're reaching out to them with a normal company name. It doesn't have LLC or incorporated or it's all in caps, right? You just want to clean that up. And that's an out of the box AI function with Clay. We'll utilize Clay here because that's like our favorite AI tool that we're utilizing. So it's just Clay formatters and then normalized company name. Pretty straightforward out of the box that you can utilize there. Next one is like industry classification. And so we'll utilize this when we're like, we help SaaS or we help IT leaders, but like we want to be more specific. And so it's like, we help MarTech companies or we help corporate cleaners or something like that. Corporate window cleaners, like get really specific on what they do. And so we'll just jump to that table here so you guys can check that out. But that's the script there. We're just utilizing Clayagent. Visit the company domain of this company and a company domain. And additionally, do research on the web to determine its industry. For anything like software as a service, simply return SaaS. Do not return anything else other than the industry. So we normalize that company name as we always do. And then where's that arrangement? Company industry, boom. So this is utilizing Clayagent. We use the 4.0 mini, or I guess it's 4.0 mini now. And then that's the prompt there. Really simple, really kosher out of the box. And that'll just run you and give you some better results. Like furniture retail is better than retail stores, or right, like bioplastics. You couldn't source that out previously, right? But like with that, it gets really specific into who you're engaging with there. So that's the industry classification, who they sell to in their ideal client work. Call out the specific client work that they view as highest value or want more of. There's another script that I'll show in a different video, but it literally calls out the specific kind of work a dental practice wants, or a plumbing company wants, or HVAC company wants. And I'll link that video down here below, but this is a really powerful one. And it's just like based on the firm's company domain and / LinkedIn profile, because we're on Clayagent, identify the specific types of cases they specialize in, right? And then you kind of prompt it with a few examples here and as few words as possible. Limits this to only one case that you think would be the highest value of them. Return only the name of the case type. I was calling out a specific case in this one. You could also add like, these are just ideas to source from. Don't limit yourself to these only option. It typically wasn't returning bad results when we did that, but when we come over here, this client is running Google ads for law firms. Tough offer. And so like this is one of the things you have to go be really specific around what they're doing to go and source that target persona. So that's that running out the specific case types, and right, it's producing some pretty good results like railroad injury, but it's a railroads claims firm, like super specific. I would not have been able to do that off of just like a blanket statement of we help you source more cases. Wrongful death, medical malpractice, like yeah, these are all great. So cool. So that's who they sell to, their auto client work. So you can switch that for really like any kind of company name. And then products on their website. This is an out of the box Clay prompt, so I'm not going to delve too deep into it, but just go through a company's domain and find all the products and services that they offer. Output those services in a comma separated list, and then you just source the domain for them. So pretty easy. And then this one is great for like, because I rarely need a company that's not competitive. And so by calling out the competitors in their industry, you can almost like peg them against each other and show that you have that market knowledge. And so what this almost sounds like is, if we could help you become a industry leader ahead of competition, would that be interesting, right? And so that's what that script looks like. Then understand what are they doing, find the name of the 3 competitors, and just comma separated list just to clarify that. And that ended up being like a really strong campaign for us, calling out those specific competitors. And it ultimately one of our best campaigns that we're running for them, and probably will continue to do so forever. So let's get a little bit more technical now. I'm going to still bucket this in the easy one because you can just freaking copy and paste this whole thing. I got to give credit to Eric Kowalski. He kind of shared this on one of his channels. But essentially what this will do is it'll conduct research on the company their business dealings and who they sell to, mentions of awards or case studies, and anything noteworthy about the company. So we utilize this when we're going to utilize larger AI prompts within our outreach strategy. It's essentially just going to stock the pond with a bunch of relevant information that we can then later utilize to help in our targeting and our outreach strategy. Really just gives the AI system the ammunition it needs to be successful. You can plug this into really like any template and script and just let that run. I think I have, no, let me see. I think that's on this one here. So we pull that up for you guys and allow you to check that out. Once again, I'll share this link in the file so you guys can check this out. I want you to stick around though, because the third and fourth one that we're about to get to are going to be great. And so this is us doing some company research on that business and then what they do, I believe. Yep, website research. Cool. So let's just do overall website research on us and just give us a ton of insight as to what's going on within that business there. Yep. Looking for any news, features, press, media, all that good stuff. Products that they sell, and then anything noteworthy about the business, right? So we're just stocking the pond with ammunition that we need for the AI model to be ultimately really successful. The next one that we're going to utilize is a first line compliment. And so this has been really good when engaging coaches or engaging just different business owners when we're talking around like content writing services or anything that's like public facing. They have some sort of like awards within their business, some success stories that they're publishing. And we just call that out in this outreach. And so what that sounds like in our personalization is just accompanying compliment, but it's for that person itself, right? Showing genuine compliment for this person based on the info. I give them under 20 words, no exclamation marks, all lowercase. Like, you'd say it to their face and extremely specific. Don't say the company name and start out each compliment off by saying, awesome, how you. So we kind of like give that some guardrails. And then we armor with the ammunition it needs to be successful. Browse the website for any recent news or case studies, and right, utilize this. And so, right, it comes back with, awesome how you helped Mary Ward connect the dots in her life and enabling her to truly live, not just get by. Awesome how you empower others through respectful confrontation techniques to help them navigate their challenging situations with confidence. So let me show you what that actually campaign looked like and how it performed. So I'm just jumping over our smart leads here. This is that campaign now that has that first line personalization, 4,300 sends, 11 positive replies. The offer is really not that great. Just got like a ton of really good replies when it comes to the actual emails itself, which is just kind of showing you what you're doing is working. And so here's just some more examples of that. Hi, Beverly. Awesome how you translate complex diabetes information into understandable terms to inspire others. And then we just tie in a pain point there that we knew that most of these clients were facing. Awesome how you helped a tech executive find his dream job through coaching. Right, and then we just go through a question-based and then another question-based CTA there. So that's a really powerful one. Essentially, you can just utilize that in the sense of like you work in the personalization and then you bring in a pain point, and then you can just throw in an offer there too in a case study. And so you can obviously kind of see here the scripts that we're running here. They look wordy because there's a bunch of spin tags applied, but they're really not. So that's about it. Cool. So that's that one. And then the next one that we really like that's been like incredibly powerful in our campaign that we like just started doing it is to identify the gaps. Is like Josh Brown often talks about this, but it's essentially utilizing AI to identify the gaps within their business and then poke a finger in the eye of them like this is an issue for it and calling that out within the first line. And it becomes like really relevant, but we needed to tinker with this for a long time to get it to work incredibly well. And so I'm not going to read that whole prompt. You don't want to hear me read that whole prompt, but you can copy and paste that and check it out. But I'm just going to show you some of the results here because I love this script and it's working out incredibly well for our clients. And so cool. Business pain point. So right, here's that script that we're running. Once again, 4.0 mini, Clayagent is the model. And so it's a similar one that you just saw there, but now we're browsing the information collected in that initial response. That website research is what we're referring to there. We're browsing the company domain. And then, right, this is like the really big stuff. It's based on the information on the bottlenecks they might be facing within their business that's causing loss of revenue, spending more money than necessary, draining time, resources, or internal resources. I'm going to provide some examples below of the challenges that businesses are encountering to provide a general idea. This should not be your only source of ideas, but then it's just a baseline. And so from here, I just armed GPT, with a model, I just armed GPT, with a list of all the different challenges and pain points that I knew that businesses were going through. And I was just able to figure that out by just like asking, hey, GPT, what are some of the challenges that these businesses might be facing? That would prompt them to look at X solution. And then you just got to go back and forth a little bit to get an exhaustive list. And then you just put this in. And then it ended up like pushing out some great results. All right. So imagine it's like, hey, Troy, I was looking at your business and notice how managing a high volume of booking inquiries might be overwhelming and a slow response for your business. Hi, Troy. I was looking into your business and noticed how managing event inquiries seems overwhelming, possibly slowing down your response times and costing engagement. Another great thing that's so personalized to the business and that's relative in like the pain point engagement. So that's the first level of this. But then the next thing is connecting the dots with our offer here. And so that's the pain point introduction. And so now we're going to tie our offer to that pain point that they're facing there. And so this is the next table. Is we're selling a chatbot here for this client. And so GPT, your goal is to provide 1 or 2 articulate sentences. I wanted to put guardrails on the 1 or 2 articulate sentences because otherwise it'll just talk and it'll kind of just like blabber. And so we also needed to arm the GPT model with like exactly what our GPT does, or excuse me, our AI chatbot solution does. Otherwise it was just like going off the guardrails. And so GPT, your goal is to provide 1 or 2 articulate sentences that aligns our solution, right? Whatever that might be, our product as a solution being faced by our clients to help them solve a pain point or challenge identified in the input below. There should be no quotations. That's really key. Otherwise, it's just going to look wonky. Write this sentence as a fifth grade reading level. I include that mostly in all my new scripts now. Begin the first sentence with "we can help" or "our AI chatbot." Once again, we're giving guardrails to it, or a variation of that message for what will read the easiest. We will not be making any additions or edits to the website. Leave no room for confusion on exactly how we would help. After your initial ideation, ask yourself, okay, but how? If there's still room for clarity, revise your answer. And then, right, we feed it all again, that same information about like different ways that we can help, right? And so then it comes back, and I just want to kind of put these two together here so you guys can see how this will read. I was looking at your chat into your business and noticed how managing a high volume of booking your inquiries might be overwhelming and slow your response times. Our AI chatbot can manage the flood of booking inquiries you receive by quickly answering questions and providing information to clients, which will speed up response times. By automating these interactions, your teams can focus on important tasks while ensuring your clients get the assistance they need in real time. The only way that this can really get better is by including metrics or like a case study in that. And so that's exactly what we do on that email, right? Is we call it the pain point. We maybe ask a question there of like, is that right? And then we flow into the response, and then we bring in a case study or proof point to show like, here's the actual value that we're providing that ties into that response that you're dealing with there. And that campaign has just been running wild at this point, utilizing this exact strategy. And then the next thing that we're going to do is we're typically running right now about 2 to 3 step sequences for our clients. The reason that we did that is like when we first got started, we were running like 5 to 6 steps, and it was just, we were just only getting conversions on the first 2, and then our response rates would drop off a cliff and our bounce rates would shoot up like a meme coin. And so we were just like, all right, let's just go with the heavy hitters in 1 and 2. And then after that, just ask for a different point of contact or just leave them alone. And so for email 2 though, what we do is maybe we either didn't hit the right pain point or we didn't explain ourselves enough. And in most cases, it's didn't explain ourselves enough. And in the other case where we hit the wrong pain point, we just do those first 2 steps, and then we create another campaign that has another 2 pain points that we call out. So you can consistently stack on top of this, so you kind of see where I'm going. But that second email there that we're going to utilize is going to say, hey, Troy, I'd reached out the other day about our AI chatbot solution, but likely didn't do a good enough job explaining how it helped. And then this will flow into our AI chatbot helps by quickly answering booking questions for your clients, meaning they get real-time support without delays. This lets your team focus on more important tasks while ensuring that every inquiry is handled efficiently. We handle the replies of post ads, direct messages, so your clients can always feel taken care of. And then this is the prompt that we utilize to feed that information. This is like the big thing that when I was prompting it, I was like, okay, but exactly how do you help? Leave no room for uncertainty or guessing from your reader. Keep this to 2 or 3 sentences and then on separate lines. That way it doesn't just look like a huge little like block of text. It was like on separate lines as the output. And then keep this at a 5th grade reading level. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned in writing cold emails is to write at a 3rd or 5th grade reading level max. I utilize a tool called Hemingway. So after I write an email, I'll put that into Hemingway. I'm not associated with this at all, by the way. I'll put this into Hemingway and I'll just see like, what's the reading level that it's at? And then if it's anything above like grade 8 or grade 9, I'm like, all right, I got to go back to the drawing board. And I'll typically utilize GPT to help me out with that. So a little copywriting tip there for you if you made it this far in the video. And then lastly is just creating content ideas. I've talked around this in other videos, but it's super powerful and like the results just like keep working. This can be used for anything. It's going on somebody's YouTube profile and providing new video ideas or edits that they should make to their profile. It is content writing services. It is SEO. It is backlinks. Like there's so many different directions that you could take this, but essentially all you're doing is you're going onto this company's website and you're having GPT access the company website, identify 3, whatever it is that you're trying to present that could effectively represent the essence of the company's products, services, and market niche for whatever the end result that it is trying to provide. Think about the general terms potential customers might use, right? Because this is relation to SEO. So we need to be like broad sweeping terms that people are going to search for. Consider general industry trends and typical offerings within the space to deduce blog ideas that reflect the company's unique aspects or strengths. For example, a company involved in online education might focusing on a language learning, suitable keywords might include, right? We're just like stocking the pond with like ideas for it to consider, and then we give it the template to output those in. And so it ultimately like came out looking great, all right? So this is for a printing services brand, it looks like. Optimize your print on demand process. 2, understand your variable data printing benefits. 3, best practices for publication printing success. And so you can present this in a few different ways, but one of the easiest ways that we've seen for presenting this is hey, first name, I was back on your site today and figured I'd provide a little bit more color as to how I'd help out with XYZ. Here's just a few different content ideas I had for you based on what I saw, and then you just provide this AI content ideas. And they'd be like, I'm of course sharing this without knowing your goals for 2025 and beyond. Would you be open to speaking about this, or am I even reaching out to the right person? And that usually gets some pretty strong interaction.
Now, these are just a small part of that cold email process that's really helpful in informing your messaging and your go-to-market strategy. But you still need to figure out the people that you're going to target and that are going to respond to these kind of messages. So I created a video that shares a little bit more on it. You can check this out here. It's going to make you more money.